You're listening to Pop This, the podcast where two women talk about everything pop culture. Here are your hosts, Lisa Christiansen and Andrea Warner.
I bought some jewelry.
Ooh.
A bracelet.
Did
beautiful...
you fall for the Majuri ads?
Oh, that's a long time ago. Do you fall for those?
I've never ordered from Majuri. I don't buy a lot of jewelry, so.
I don't either. And I was just out in a shop and I found this beautiful gold bracelet and I bought it. And now I have no idea why I did that. Like maybe I should have worn it right now.
Yeah.
For this experience because I don't know what I'm like. No one's seeing it.
But it makes you feel good.
But what am I like wearing around the house? Like
yes.
I guess I could.
That's true of anything. Like
yeah, like wear all your
shoes,
fanciest outfits,
coats,
everything.
Makeup. Who sees anything?
Yeah.
No, I know. Have you guys been buying makeup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I actually decided to
not as much.
I really committed to trying. I mean, I'm not wearing it right now, but like I committed to trying to do like much more elaborate like eye stuff. So like I have like eyeliners. AG gave me some eyeliners. Sanera gave me some eyeliners. I bought some, and then also my beautiful little book club ordered me a fancy eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath for my birthday, and so I've been doing some like very elaborate eyes, but not like all the time. It just depends on what kind of time I have, but it's nice.
Okay, well I will wear the bracelet next time, and then I broke it.
Oh no.
And then I got it fixed.
Oh, good.
But
wow.
so I brought it into a shop, which felt fun. Like I haven't done, I don't know, when you go get something fixed and you go to an actual shop, doesn't it feel, I don't know how you feel, like, you're running errands. It makes me think of like watching a soap opera, like a show with a 1950s housewife who has to go and do errands, pick up the dry cleaning and I don't know, get the tires rotated or something. But I brought my bracelet in to get fixed and it just felt so like, can you fix this? And they're, yes, we can. And then I came back and got it and it was even better. And then again, I put it on and then I was thinking, I don't know where I'm going to wear this. I don't know what I'm doing with this. But I guess you can't really change who you are through this experience, right? Like I'm still ordering clothes.
I had no idea that that's where we'd arrive. But yes, I am also still ordering some clothes. I don't order that much, but I do enjoy. I've been ordering like a lot of more comfortable clothes. Like,
yeah, well, definitely. I haven't ordered any
I
ball
found
gowns.
I found that though, like I went through that in sort of last year. I wanted all comfortable clothes. I was ordering a lot of like sweatpants and sweat tops and stuff like that. My tie-dye phase. And now I've come to the point where...
so your tie-dye phase was last year and I just wear my new one today? Was that a
No, I still have all my tie... No, I still have all my tie-dye stuff. I'm not referring to your new tie-dye shirt
I felt that.
I love that you're wearing.
Thanks. See, I wore that. That's new, and I wore that because I knew I would be here. And
I'm
you
still
would
wearing
see me.
all my tie-dye stuff. I misspoke. But I've gotten to the point now where I just feel like, I want to dress, in nicer things now. I'm tired of looking like what I feel like to be just in like sweatpants all the time. Like I want to start wearing my regular clothes again.
Just around the house.
Or no, like if I go to like the drugstore or something. Or the supermarket. Like
it would be exciting if they tried to legislate. You remember, like years ago, was Casual Friday, and now you had like maybe they could.
Well, I don't mean dress up. I just I want to wear like a pair of non-sneaker shoes. I maybe want to put on a dress once in a while. And
it is still winter, so we are kind of like.
And like put on wear a wool coat and not wear like a sporty coat when I go out or
I understand what you mean. Like I think like I mean as someone who now does not leave the house, I today put on a sports bra and one of my comfiest, coziest dresses, because we had a lot of home care support people coming today. So I was like, well, I've got to dress up. I've got to impress some people. And so I put on socks.
Oh.
And
were they impressed? Did you notice a look?
I could tell that they really were like looking at my outfit and being like, this looks pretty nice. Like, this isn't so bad. They, I could tell they were admiring my eyebrows, stuff like that. So like it felt good. It felt like rewarding. And I put on a sports bra too. And I could feel like they understood that too.
Okay, here's this is my confession. It's not really anything a confession, but I need to every day, like, as I work from home, I need to, before I start work, shower and get dressed and put on a bra.
You're still wearing an underwire bra every day?
Every day.
Holy smokes, dude.
I take it off later, but like for the work setting, I don't know what happened psychologically.
Wow.
I just felt I needed to do that.
Oh, I abandoned that pretty early on in the pandemic.
I did for a while, and then it just, I don't know what happened. And then when I started giving myself a bit of a schedule of things and then I felt a little better. And I think part of it is because I miss that exciting feeling when you take it off at the end of the day. So I walk from the room I keep from my office and I walk into my bedroom and I actually have a more schleppy set of clothes that I put on, like old pajamas and t-shirts. And that's when I take the bra off. And so I move from what I consider to be a bit more of a dressy, leisurely look.
Yep.
And so then I feel like I have the evening to feel slobby.
Yeah, I mean, I think I get that. I just really, like, I am shocked at the underwear commitment, because I have to say, like, the 2 times maybe that I've had to put on like one of my conventional underwire push-up bras or whatever, I've been like, well, I missed the girls, but I don't miss anything else about this. And I just, it's really great to like take it back off again,
I'm still wearing slippers around the house.
Okay, so you haven't switched to like a sort of like a stylish
like loafers.
But I did get these for Christmas, and I have to say the deluxe UGG slippers
those are fancy.
A real revelation.
A real game changer at home.
A real game changer at home. I don't know. There's also something about walking around the house with a firm bottom of my shoe that makes me feel a little bit more like,
Actually, yeah, I wear my like regular sort of like sandals that I wear in the summer usually. I have taken to wearing them indoors, it's a thong sandal, but with like an arch support, and it really makes a difference for me.
Yeah, I still sometimes find that I don't quite eat a dinner. Like I sort of graze all day. That hasn't really, like I try to set aside a time for a dinner, like make something, so there's a bit more of a ritual still happening, but that one can fall apart pretty quick on me.
Because Carlos is also working from home and he gets off at the same time each night, and also since grandma, for sure, like we have like we have a little more rigidity to our meal planning, so it's like it's a bit more scheduled again, so I have to say that is kind of nice.
I definitely I like the idea of like, and then I just usually watch a show while I eat, which is not good either.
Oh, I like to watch TV while I eat. It's one of my favorites. It's always been that way. I didn't grow up in a family where we sat around a table and ate together. It's just never, like, we would eat together in front of the TV, but we wouldn't sit around a dinner table and eat together.
No. I don't know, do most people, like, the only time I ever really see that is on sitcoms.
We always had dinner at a dinner table.
Oh, you did?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
When I grew up, yeah.
I think Carlos's family did too, but his mom worked night, so it was his dad making dinner for him and his sister, and so it was like them sort of eating at a table together, I think. So that's like a little bit different. And I guess we always had dinner together, but we weren't eating around a table. That's all. We would sit at like a counter with stools, like high stools. High stools.
Yeah, kind of like a bar. It was like I was eating at a bar. And then sometimes we would watch TV or I guess I can't imagine. I do not remember any time where it was like we were discussing our day. That did not. Well, I went to school and then I came home and you're caught up. I mean, that'd be our day, right?
Yeah. Like especially right now, I mean, every once in a while I'll realize like, oh, I haven't actually seen much of Carlos today. I wonder how his day did go. But it's a real surprise to me to think about that. Like, because
he's in another room.
So bizarre.
Just in another room, but some days we're just like on really, we're just both sort of super preoccupied with whatever we're doing. And he has a break when I don't have a break, etc. And yeah, it'll be like the end of the day. And I'm just like we have a few hours together in the evening, of course, but it's, between like sort of the grandma stuff and like regular stuff and job stuff, it's there's not
a lot to catch up. I mean, pretty much if I talk to someone, it's like, well, what are you watching? There might be a bit of like, I don't like what are you reading, or what are you like, how is your existential nightmare on a scale of 1 to 10 right now is basically.
I hope you lead with that question all the time. I mean, one of the only things that I have had to talk about this week outside of, my usual conversations around wound care are how much I enjoyed this new episode of television, because these are small bright spots in our lives. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Andrea Warner.
I'm Lisa Christiansen.
I'm Andrea Gin.
And we're talking about The Equalizer. Is it called
so much
or is
fun.
it just Equalizer? Is it The Equalizer?
I think
don't
it's
know.
The Equalizer.
It feels like the is right, but like I have no idea.
It's The Equalizer.
Okay, good.
The Equalizer.
Yeah,
okay,
because like you need sort of announcement. Like there's like it's really important.
Well, because it's like a superhero name, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am the Equalizer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like totally the voice. I had such a good time with this pilot. We're only talking about the pilot.
Yeah.
That's all we're talking about. And I had such a good time, and I can't wait to talk about it more. Let's start off. I'll talk about so this TV series stars one of our faves, Queen Latifah, worship her, and is made by producing legend Deborah Martin Chase, whose credits include the Whitney Houston Brandy Cinderella, which has just recently been added to Disney. It was an injustice.
I think we could do.
I think we could do as well.
It was an
injustice that it didn't happen before now, and so I'm so glad it's there. The Princess Diaries, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and Deborah Martin Chase became the first Black woman to produce a film to gross more than $100 million, which is Courage Under Fire, and score a deal at a major studio. So
that is an unusual resume, those films.
You know what? I love that she has nothing that like sort of holds her in just one space.
No, there's no like
it's so great.
That's a definite Deborah Chase right there.
No. I mean, there's obviously like some themes between Cinderella, Princess Diaries, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Like she obviously enjoys like stories that center, girls and women, and that's super cool. I don't know much about Courage Under Fire, but this Equalizer is like, anyway, love. Okay, so I'll toss it over to one of you to pick up with background.
Okay, I'll do background. The Equalizer is an American crime drama television series that premiered on CBS, right after the Super Bowl, actually. We could just say that. Mm-hmm. It is the second reboot in the franchise following the 2014 film and its 2018 sequel, and is a reboot of the series with the same name. The series is co-created by executive producers Richard Lindheim with Michael Sloan and Queen Latifah, who also stars as the title character. Lindheim died from heart failure on January 18th, 2021, while working on the series. The series premiere is dedicated to his memory. How extremely heartbreaking is that to read?
That's sad. That's sad.
My. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Richard.
So the synopsis. The series chronicles the life of Robin McCall, an enigmatic woman and single mother to teenage daughter Delilah, with a mysterious background, who uses her extensive skills to help those with nowhere else to turn, acting as a guardian angel and defender for those who cannot defend themselves while pursuing her own redemption.
So I have a question just off the top because we've only seen the pilot. So the while pursuing her own redemption, like is that like is there some like I know that she's like is there a
Well,
She's at the beginning. She's quit her job, which
well she quit her job, but like
and there was an explosion thing, or that was the memory from Tangiers or whatever. I don't know.
yeah, I have no idea. Like I'm curious as to like if the redemption arc is like
Well, she
Yeah.
quit, and Chris Noth comes to get her to come back. So there's
Yeah.
some reason she left, and she was like, "I'm out."
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if like seeking redemption, as far as I can tell, because I've watched the first two episodes actually,
Ooh, okay.
is not exactly how I phrased what she's doing. Like, I think she's just trying to, this Equalizer is trying to like just put some justice into the world.
Yeah.
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 So maybe like a redemption in like a collective for society kind of thing, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But there might be some personal redemption thing in there because obviously she's got a lot of
Yeah, maybe
mystery
down
and
the line.
secrets.
Well, yeah.
She's been in the CIA. She's done some things. She's seen stuff.
She sure has. So I've never watched any kind of Equalizer at all. Have you guys?
No. However, I've watched a lot of these kinds of shows because I love them. Just not the Equalizer.
I went back and watched the Denzel Washington, the first Equalizer film from 2014.
Oh.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very dark. It's
Really?
about he works in like a Home Depot type of like that's his cover. His day job is like working in a huge big box sort of hardware store.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you know, tries to fight for justice for like the sort of marginalized people around him who work in the store or in his neighborhood. And yeah, he's just like this unassuming person with no family who lives like in a apartment with nothing in it and in Boston. And it's quite a different tone because yeah, like he has no family.
I like this one better. I like Queen Latifah's house. I like
Yeah. Yeah, like he has no family.
I love her
He lives,
wardrobe. I love the whole situation here.
and he's just he wears like chinos and a shirt, a golf shirt all the
Yeah,
time.
I'm not
like
into that idea.
But and you know, like it's not really like this one really I was reading a lot about like how it's like the Equalizer is a reflection of the times that they're in.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like this one is more about, you know, kind of like the social stuff that we're going through right now, whereas the one Denzel Washington films are more about, you know, like the enemies are like Russian, the bad guys are Russians, and
There were some bad Russians in this one too.
That's true, I guess.
Yeah. But more just
Anyway.
your garden variety, you know, like not a specific kind of spy setting.
Super
Yeah.
garden variety bad Russians.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this. Like
I did too.
Oh my god, the outfits, you're right. I love the outfits. I wanted
Yep.
almost every outfit that
Yes.
Queen Latifah was wearing. I really loved it was so
She's just styled so
she's
well.
Yeah,
she's styled
yeah.
so well. And also she's just like so beautiful. Like it's
And so cool.
I know.
And yet at the same time very connected and, you know, like wants to make a difference. So she's not like detached cool,
But
which
yeah,
I don't like.
Just also, you know, like how many things do we get to see where like a middle-aged woman gets to like kick ass, you know, like
Yeah, I love
don't
it.
know.
I love that you know, she has to go home and berate her daughter and then go, I don't know, shoot Russians who are trying to kill or rape a girl. I mean, like it's an extreme life. Let's just say that.
So I loved seeing her, you know, when she's in Coney Island with like taking on these custodians, just like the way that she comes at them, and the fight sequences are really well done. And I also
they are.
oh my god, like it's just because it just feels like it is well edited together. It's well shot, and yet there's still like a real believability in her having to activate this like sort of ruthless side, but also still always connected to sort of a very like natural and like humble presence. Like I think like Queen Latifah always has such a natural acting style. And we watched Last Holiday over Christmas, and I remembered like how like she's the reason that movie works on every level.
But she has like this cool way she just walks in, which I just always love. Like it, and it's fun to see a woman get to do it too. To have that sort of, like they just walk in and they're so in control of the situation, yet they're sort of pissed as well.
Yes, yeah.
It's just that kind of like, oh, all right, I guess we're doing this, and let's do it. And then,
yeah. And I find her physicality like so believable because like, yeah, she does look really strong and she does look like she could really, hurt somebody if because I think she's like a kickboxer as a hobby in real life.
What a hobby.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, and women have to do it always dressed well in these movies too, right? They're not like in yoga pants or something, right? They come like she was meeting someone. She was like, she probably had some heels on.
Yeah.
And she gets like, and she can still do the whole shenanigans there. Like, and then just sort of like dust off the sweat and the grossness from these horrible people and then, save the day.
Well, yeah, because like I just mean that like in some sort of Hollywood fight sequences, you're definitely like in your mind, you're like, this is just an actor who's had a bunch of trainers, training them up for months, and now they're in this like super choreographed fight scene and with lots of special effects, and it just like it doesn't seem that believable. But like when I watched this one, it was like it seemed super real to me. Like, and yeah.
To be fair,
I thought it was great.
We were warned that the CIA wanted her back because she's the best.
Yeah.
They forecasted all that.
Right. So, yeah.
Can I also just like, okay, so obviously Queen Latifah forever, but like, can I also just say I was not at all prepared for what a silver fox Chris Noth is. Like, oh my God. Okay, I know that I already like really liked him as an actor, and I knew that about myself. I was prepared to carry that just in my hands and in my heart. But when he shows up, and it took me a couple minutes to like fully like just sort of like just absorb how good he looks.
He just seems to pop up like no matter what sort of there seems he needs to be like in the pop culture zeitgeist. Like we had to go through him with Sex and the City, and then we had to do the Law and Order, or did we do Law and Order and then
Law and Order first, then Sex and the City,
then Sex and the City, and then back to Law and Order, and then The Good Wife.
Yep.
And I can't remember what's in between. Have we not seen him since The Good Wife?
I can't remember actually, because I don't know what he's been doing since The Good Wife, but this is the best he's ever looked. Like this beard, beard.
That's a huge statement.
Honest to God. Like it's so silver. It's all so silver, and it's so good.
No, it's nice to see people allowed to have that sort of, it is like although Adam Goldberg somehow has remained timeless. Like
he has looked the exact same for 25 years.
Yeah. I mean, there is not a change in that man at all. Like,
no,
like he's sitting in the back and dazed and confused, right? Like he is just, and Friends and like Friends for good. Friends hasn't even been on the air forever, and Adam Goldberg just shows up, and you're like, did you just step out of the Friends set? Like, what happened here?
I thought I saw him. I thought he walked past me on the street the last time I was in New York, and I was really weirdly excited, because I was like, I don't know. Somewhere, I don't know, East Villagey or whatever. And I was on my own, and Carlos and I were going to meet up, and I was like, Adam Goldberg just walked by. What do I do? And he's like, nothing. I was like, yeah, you're right.
Was it really him? Because almost every man in New York looks like Adam Goldberg.
But that's the thing. Yeah, I have no idea if it was really him. Because, like, yeah, every man in New York does look like Adam Goldberg. So, like, it's, but yeah, it's, I also really, love Liza Lapira as Mel, the bar owner and sniper. Because, I mean, that's a great combo. Bar owner and sniper.
I have to say, if I had to have a thesis statement for why I enjoyed this show so much, obviously Queen Latifah. Obviously it's, I think for all of us, I love spy movies. I love action films. We all do. But there was something about how they got some social message in there, but at the same time, gave us all of the cheesy elements of those action films. Like that little layer that Adam has down there.
So cool.
Classic. So cool.
It was beyond anything that you've seen in a James Bond movie for usually the evil guy has this kind of setup.
Well, and I'd also love to know a little bit more. So I don't fully understand. Are they freelance ex-CIA people? And are they just independently super wealthy?
Every one of these shows has to have a quirky computer guy, girl.
Sure, for sure. And I respect that. If you're going to make something in the 21st century, you better have your tech right and truly spectacular on every level. But this particular setup that they have.
Do you need that big of a monitor though? What are we talking, 20 by 20 feet?
You have to be able to also stage a musical in the room on a stage almost with a full backdrop that's cinema ready. It's wild. So I don't understand what they do professionally or what their job or and just where the funding. I've got some questions for their accountants. And
they seem to have a ready safe house. What are you doing that you have this place ready for fugitives?
I mean that seems consistent with the other Equalizer too. Is just
I see.
CIA operatives have extra spaces.
Honestly, I basically have a ready safe house outside of the fact that 3 of the 4 walls are glass. So I get that. I have no problem having a ready safe room, but the money, for all the equipment.
Well, they get paid probably in cash. Is my guess.
You know what? And that bar probably does pretty good business. It looked
when she's stealing money from people.
It looked nice. It looked like the kind of bar
there's a
I would
whole
want to hang out at.
Yeah, I think this is a show also. I'm going to just add this, that you don't ask a lot of questions as well.
I agree with you completely. And so here's the thing. So I think, all of us are sort of thinking a little bit more about crime shows and our relationships to, crime and punishment and the corruption of police and sort of these Black Lives Matter and racism and sort of racial justice and carceral justice. We're having a lot of these sort of conversations and I'm interested to see where the show goes and what sort of they're going to do with that. But there's some narratives that in the outline that you provided, AG, that I am so. The Slate headline, Queen Latifah makes the impossible, a CBS cop show for the Black Lives Matter era. And this is written by a woman named June Thomas. And I don't want to read the whole quote or anything, but I just want to I just want to go down a little bit. So she says, The Equalizer is one of the first CBS procedurals to premiere since last summer's Black Lives Matter protests. Back then, some critics dinged CBS, which has long dominated the ratings with cop-worshipping dramas, for the network's tepid response to the racial reckoning. This show, which features a black Robin Hood, Robin being the character's name, at its center, and a black male cop whose commitment to justice has him chafing against the system he's part of, was green-lighted before George Floyd was killed, but its timing couldn't be better. And that is from June Thomas at Slate. And I would like to say that as soon as I read that, I was like, this woman's definitely white. And then I went and checked. She sure is. Because I just feel like you're invoking invoking that this for sure is is the cop era for a Black Lives Matter era cannot come from a white critic. Like a white people cannot make this statement. And so like I respect June Thomas's career, but I just think this is like not white people's place to say. As a white person, I think it makes me uncomfortable.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah,
Interesting.
that's fair.
It's fair. Yeah, but I do feel like it feels like that as a show.
Well, it feels like the show wants to contend and I think definitely like center experiences and the experiences of Black people who are working within criminal justice, and the experience, like their perspective is centered, and so that's fine. But like to say that, to like invoke all of these other things and like assign that this is like, it's because you can't really take the Black Lives Matter movement, which is really asking for sort of like defunding the police, and then putting out a police procedural, which is ultimately sort of like what this is, and working within the infrastructure of that, and saying that it is like the perfect thing for the Black Lives Matter era, because it's still operating within this like systemic white supremacist infrastructure, you know? And so I just think like white critics could maybe step back from like assigning it that specific value.
I agree. And what I think is missing from that too is that this is also very much centered on girls and women. That is definitely the message here. I mean, that this young girl gets framed for this murder that she, had nothing to do with. Sorry, spoilers, everybody listening.
It's the pilot. People are gonna.
Yeah, it's a pilot.
We're gonna talk about it.
But the focus that this girl wants to get a scholarship, and that becomes like for Queen Latifah the real like, I'm going to help you. I don't know if I can for sure get you this scholarship, but I'm getting you to this interview. I am getting you this interview. And then the conversation she has with her daughter, taking her to the prison, her daughter who had just been caught shoplifting and doing some other things. So this story was really about Black women. And so the fact that this was already in process before, as you said, what that review said, tells you that you can, if that makes you happy to center it that way, sure. But no, these were conversations and themes that were well in deserving of being explored for a long time.
Well, and that have been happening for a long time. Sorry.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I see in the series a lot of work has been put into, like the mother of the child that is at the center of the pilot she's been deported. And, like just kind of really reflecting what is going on in the world, in America today. And I think for a CBS network show, that is pretty unusual. Like not many Black women are the heroes of, network television shows, period. I think, Queen Latifah is like only the fifth Black woman to lead an hour-long series in the history of television. And she's doing it like 50 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
wild.
They're taking great efforts to at least, like you can tell that there are Black people involved in producing the show and writing the show. And, that Queen Latifah is involved in being the executive producer, because you can see that they are trying to make real efforts in trying to reflect, the problems going on in America today.
Yeah, like we need to take down those tech billionaires.
Well, the Elon Musk
who have these glass houses. Like, I mean, we're done with that.
It is entirely, utterly, 100% believable, as I think one of the reviews says, is that like, yes, absolutely, the bad guy is just like a completely unhinged, billionaire who's obsessed with his money over human life. And I love, love, love watching Robin call him out and call out hypocrisy and greed and, sort of like these capitalist sort of it's not like beyond capitalism, like whatever that term is.
But this whole and that whole trope too. But he gives so much. He gives so much. Like we're not like if you had things properly government funded, we would not need rich people to constantly need to be thanked for giving us some of the money that they shouldn't have had in the first place.
And it's a tax write-off for them to do this kind of philanthropy. It is.
Yeah.
It is entirely. It's entirely exposing sort of the flaws of our every amount of infrastructure.
The only thing I would have really liked more is if she had managed to beat him up while he was like appearing on the Joe Rogan podcast or something. That would have.
Oh my God, that would have been amazing.
Maybe that'll be later on.
The first two episodes really hit on too. It's just like the people asking for help are really people who can't turn to the police for help.
Yes.
Yeah. But even that policeman, as you said, the black policeman knows that there's something so rotten here.
Yeah.
You know, where I am, but, you know, is still doing his best.
I mean, I have to say, like, of course, I hope that Marcus and Robin have a great sort of friendship, and maybe
I'm hoping they'd have an affair.
I know that maybe a will there, won't they? I just don't want to like, because maybe Robin is queer. Like maybe Robin is like, that's like not her personal experience like at this point. So I don't want to for sure assign sort of like, you know, a heteronormative love affair to them. But I hope that they build up one of those really sort of like dynamic, interesting partnerships that can, you know, just sort of like, I don't know, just sort of like make them not always on opposite sides, but sort of sometimes working together to sort of make things happen, you know? Like
I like the idea too of the fact that Robin's character is like a superhero, you know, like how in Batman the chief would flash the bat signal.
Yeah.
And Batman would show up and help, and that's basically what Robin is now, right? Like she has sent a note to this cop. I'm here if you need anything, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what their signal's going to be. It's probably not a bat signal or something.
Just like a text message with a hot dog. Just like that would be my signal. That would be like, oh, you want help? Buy me a hot dog. That's
well, I mean, yeah, I mean that at the end of this episode, that was just like the thing I kept thinking is just like, how great would a world be where like you could call Queen Latifah if you were in serious trouble about something and she would come and fix it.
Well, like, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is the best superhero we've ever had. I mean, you know, they're always there for, you know, to help you out like the whole reason we like superheroes is because of their sense of justice, right? That's the whole point in the traditional, except for I was a big fan of The Boys, which is not anything nearly about this at all, which is also fun, I have to say, subverting that. So the fact that we have this incredible character who, you know, can do all of these things is well, I think it's game changing.
Mm-hmm. I think it is too, and I just like it's been a long time since I really connected with something that was like sort of week to week on a network. I'm trying to think of like, do you remember when we watched well,
you watched Castle, right?
Well, I did, but that's like I watched it just now. Like it's been over for years.
Yeah, so but it's made by the same people.
That is interesting to me. I noticed that in the outline, and I think that's really interesting because there is like sort of a slight rhythm to it that I was picking up, and I actually this is how the last month has gone. I just finished all 8 seasons of Castle.
Wow, that is a commitment.
It sure was. And you know what? Did I enjoy every second of it? No, but I enjoyed it a lot. How
many episodes per season? Is it like the 22 one? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
No, I watched
Don't even add
hardcore.
that up. Don't.
It's fine. I'm not ashamed of it. It's
No, it's just that's a lot of your life. That's like a chunk.
Well, it was the only thing that I could really distract myself with over the last 4 weeks outside of like work and everything else. And just
you watched it in 4 weeks?
I don't know if it was 4 weeks specifically. It would be hard for me to go back and remember exactly when I decided to sort of turn to it, but it was over a short amount of time, probably shamefully short. But like when I say that, like I would like you know, I was watching it while I was doing the dishes. I was like watching it like in all kinds of different sort of situations, and there is something that sort of feels like a little bit like familiar, and that's, I mean, you know what? Like, I mean, Castle is like kind of a ridiculous, over the top, silly show on a lot of levels, and aspects of it sort of like, you know, it doesn't share my values all the time in terms of sort of justice and social justice. But it was never like egregiously awful. And they were always, you know, the bad guys seemingly were always sort of like the appropriate bad guys. And there was a lot of sort of like corruption, in different sort of like, you know, so-called trusted. I'm sort of curious to see how this, how the Equalizer evolves, because I think that they actually did a pretty decent job with Castle. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it was, you know, balancing humor and sort of drama and sometimes thrills and sometimes like genuine, like sort of like scare stuff, you know, like just like some surprise moments. I think like the Equalizer probably won't be as purposefully like as funny, but I think that they will give, because Queen Latifah is so funny.
We had quips.
Oh, we had good quips. We had good quips.
Yeah.
I just like Queen Latifah's character. Like, I don't know if they're gonna let her like sort of fully be like funny until they get like a sort of like they get a better handle on it all. You know, like I think like that's like, as the show sort of settles into itself, and that's the kind of development I think we could expect to see like halfway through the first season, is where we sort of like see exactly who Robin is and like the fullness of her experiences right now. Because like right now she's all hero all the time and all badass all the time, right?
No, not when she's at home though. And that's what I just love, that our first look at her was getting up in the morning and having tea. Is that her aunt or her mom?
I think it's her mom.
It's her aunt.
Oh, it's her
Vi.
aunt. Yeah. Okay, Aunt Vi.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So I love that the multi-generational family all living in this house too. I love that she doesn't have this, because generally we have these characters like, you know, Born Identity, and they have some sort of sleek apartment in Prague or something, right? And I love that she just has like a really, you know, a very nice suburban looking home. But I love that. I love that reflection of this you know, family.
Yeah.
And they're all working together. And I love the fact that there's some domestic, like that. I'm going to Dad's wedding, and she's like, "Oh, do you mind buying a dress for me to go to Dad's wedding?" She's like, "Well, that's not my bucket list." Like, I love that, right? I just, you know, I love that there's some realness to her family life. I like that. For sure.
And I love Lorraine Toussaint as Aunt Vi. Like, I've seen her in so many things.
Yeah, I know.
She's been around forever, and I just think she's another like incredible actress. Also, I feel like I only concentrate. I mean, again, it's not my place to constantly sexualize people, but and like sort of like fan my bits over them. But I will say also, Tory Kittles as Marcus, the cop. He's also very attractive and a very compelling presence.
It's a good-looking cast. We're not gonna like.
Yeah.
I
mean, even Leia DeLeon Hayes, who plays Delilah, she's
so
a great,
beautiful. Yeah, and she's great too.
Actress.
Yeah. But yeah, this is in terms of like my three crushes right now, for this show: Queen Latifah, Tory Kittles, and Chris Noth. And then, so those are like my top three crushes. But I also do love Lorraine Toussaint, and so that's good too.
I did find it, because I haven't watched network TV in a long time, like a show on network TV in a really long time, that I found it hard to get into that rhythm where it's like, I don't know how many minutes, like 10 minutes in a commercial.
Yeah, I know.
And how like they have to sort of wrap it all up in the last like quarter of the show. And it just seems like so abrupt sometimes, where it's just like.
It's strange,
boom,
hey,
boom,
because
boom,
it doesn't.
The end.
I'm not entirely, like, we've got so used to like a Netflix where it really feels like one long movie they chopped into 6 parts. Mm-hmm. That's what Netflix series feel like to me. But network TV they're like standalone, even though there are some threads, there's an arc usually, but it's weird that I hadn't noticed such a weird structure.
Yeah, it just feels so abrupt when it
Yeah.
ends because you're just used to like, oh, on Netflix this would be like a 10-part show or whatever, like unraveling this like one story.
Yeah, and now we're gonna have to, because I'm still watching The Good Fight as well, and even though I'm watching that on a streaming service, it's still the episodes end.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, but when something's made for like, for Crave or Netflix or HBO or something like that, it just feels like a long, continuous thing.
Or like and it has to hit all these beats before they go to like a commercial.
Yeah. Well, now when you watch it streaming, it just has a fade to black quickly, right? And then we just pick up.
It's a quick cut, because Castle obviously was for network TV, and then like watching it was pretty seamless. Like, but you could, those beats are always like, because it has like that, that sort of like black and then movement,
But no, I don't enjoy commercials. Turns out, at all.
I know.
Don't miss those.
I hated
Don't miss
watching
those at
these
all.
commercials. Yeah.
No, I mean, what do I do? I watch them on YouTube, and it's just you hover till you can hit skip ad, right? Like as quickly as possible. So it's a weird, to think we just sat through commercials. Like that was just the whole, you're just going to be sitting here.
What a wild time.
And you're going to wait, or you can try and run to the bathroom quickly,
Can we talk just a little bit? I know we have to like sort of wrap up.
Is this Chris Knopf again?
No, but I mean, again, have you looked at how silver his beard and hair are? I'm blushing even thinking about it.
Oh, he'll be back too, right? Every week.
I hope
Every
so.
week
Every week.
So.
He's there.
He'll trade quips with Queen Latifah.
Well, I'd love to. I mean, they have a nice chemistry as well. I hope that ultimately he's not evil, but like whatever, gotta do what you gotta do.
He just feels like he kind of skirts it, but I wouldn't say he's evil.
You never know with these kinds of shows. That's the problem. I'm always waiting for the shoe to drop, But what I was gonna say is just sort of like having Queen Latifah in our lives in like a weekly fashion feels really like
that makes me happy.
It makes
me too.
me so happy. So I know we've done like some of Queen Latifah's movies, obviously in the past, but like, do you guys have a specific like standout Queen Latifah? Like this is your favorite role of hers?
Is it Beauty Shop that I'm thinking?
Yes. Yeah.
I love that one, and I love that her love interest is Jaime Hunsu too.
Oh yeah.
So that's a favorite of mine. I really like that.
Well, I mean, for me, Last Holiday is one of my favorite rom-coms. And I also loved her in Chicago.
Oh my God, I love her in Chicago.
Oh, true.
So
We've done
much.
Chicago too. Yeah.
I love Last Holiday as well. I don't know if I've ever seen Beauty Shop. So
I love that movie.
I gotta get on that.
Well, and then we did Girls Trip.
Oh my God, Girls Trip, she's so good. She's like so good in Girls Trip. I did watch her Ursula in The Little Mermaid live, and she was a great Ursula.
And Set It Off, we did. Boy.
Set It Off,
yes.
she's so good.
But I don't have like just the way she dies at the end. Again, spoiler everyone. But that was so tragic, and that was so upsetting that I want to think about the movie fondly, but I can't.
Well, and then of course, Living Single, like, the OG Queen Latifah show.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen, I reviewed this movie like back when I was reviewing movies, her movie with Dolly Parton called Joyful Noise.
No.
It's so fun, you guys. We have to do it at some point.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like it is a real delight. It's a real delight. And they both sing in it, so it's really great.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She's good in everything. There's not like, I don't know. There's just never been like a misstep for me.
No, agreed.
No, I agree.
And I even got to win a trivia contest when I knew her name was Dana. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I knew her name was Dana too. I feel good about that.
Yeah. When that was that was one to pull out and go, oh yeah, I know that. And you get everyone, how do you know that? And I'm like, I don't know, but I do know. So that's all you need to know.
I can't. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous that you've already seen episode 2, AG.
I'm gonna go. I was gonna intend to watch it again. I just wanted to like go right into it. I was having such a good time. I mean, this is everything I want in a show. I've always wanted to be like, a spy, and it's pretty close. And
You know what she's also great in? I just realized Stranger Than Fiction with Emma Thompson.
I didn't see that.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Yeah,
Okay.
I really like. I mean, it's a kind of an Emma Thompson vehicle, but Queen Latifah's great in it.
I'll watch that.
Yeah, it's good. Oh,
Yeah.
we should do like an entire what was our other series we wanted to? We wanted to do all of Madonna's movies, and let's do it. All of Queen Latifah's movies and all of Madonna's movies.
That is again, we're just really
Queen Latifah has way more movies.
Yeah, but
that's-
we've
the
done
reason we
more of her
chose
movies
Madonna.
already.
It was because there's like 5. That's
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, how about we each get? Well, we've done more Queen Latifah movies though so far.
yes. we
So
have.
like
Yeah.
we could choose like our top 5 Queen Latifah films that we haven't done yet as well.
Yeah.
That's
And
fair.
like
Well, because I want to see Bessie. I haven't seen that.
yes,
Yeah.
we haven't done Bessie.
Okay, we haven't. Yeah.
I do think we should do Joyful Noise because it's like just really fun. I think we should do Beauty Shop. And there's like some more that we just talked about that I don't remember off the top of my
Yeah.
head now because it's already
Yeah.
gone.
We'll pick the 5 best.
Plus, I am so excited. You know what? We're gonna end up having to do this with after we watch Cinderella. We're gonna have to like commit to doing a bunch of Whitney Houston films as well because I was thinking about how much I love her. Number one,
We did The Bodyguard already.
we did The
so-
Bodyguard, and
yeah.
that was great. But like, there's The Preacher's Wife. There's we did.
But Deborah Martin Chase also worked on Sparkle with Whitney Houston.
Oh, nice. We've never done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so many good things. You know what I was also thinking? We should do like Mariah Carey's
Oh,
Glitter.
we did Waiting to Exhale as
We
well.
did Waiting to Exhale for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's like
yeah.
that's so good, and she's so good in that
Huh,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Whitney. All right. Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah.
We've got some good plans, guys.
We
so I'm really
do.
excited about.
Boy, we started off sad about the pandemic. Now I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to stay home and binge on Whitney Houston, Queen Latifah, and strangely Madonna movies. So
Such a good time. That's
yes.
like, that's just the best time. All right. Well, we love to leave our episode. Oh, wait, does it pop?
Oh,
Yes.
popping. Yeah.
Yes.
Like a gun in Queen Latifah's hands.
We love to leave our episodes on things that we recommend. So, Andrea Gin, you want to go first?
Sure. So I subscribed a few weeks ago to Roxane Gay's new newsletter, The Audacity, and it's great.
Good.
Basically, she curates stuff. Like she has like a different, theme to every newsletter, and sometimes you get like essays written by, emerging young writers that she has picked out as people we should pay attention to, or she gives you a list of like things that she's doing or things that she's watching or things that she is interested in. And so I've just found I'm really into newsletters lately.
I've heard someone else say that. It was like we have so much and now we're going back to newsletters.
I know. And I really enjoy getting a little digest of Roxane Gay's recommendations in my inbox once a week.
That's nice. That's really great.
The Audacity.
The Audacity. Fantastic. Lisa, what about you? What are you recommending?
Well, we've just wrapped up the first season of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It was the first year. Now, I just want to point out that there was a podcast I quite like called Bitch Sesh, which we've talked about here before, where they run down reality TV, mostly Housewives and Vanderpump Rules. Roxane Gay was a guest. So if we're going to make fun of my housewives, just remember Roxane Gay is a fan too.
Not making
wanna
fun.
point that out.
I celebrate your love.
So we just wrapped up the first season of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And right now, we're just into the reunion phase. We've 2 episodes. Possibly when I leave here, I will be watching the second reunion episode. There were 3. Does everyone know the format of the reunion? Is that a understood part of this?
They
No.
like bring everyone back, and then they like sort of bring up like the gossip and the fights, and like ask everyone to talk about their deepest wounds.
Yes. But there's other parts to the other part is that they get dressed up in these elaborate outfits, which are wild usually. And people can send in questions. So it'll be always like really fun things where it's like, Bob in Toluca Lake wants to know, Mary, what's wrong with your hair? Like things like that. So I've always wondered if maybe it's been, and someone has asked Andy Cohen this, I don't know. Because he kind of is the host / referee of these situations.
Yeah.
Like, are these real questions? Like, I part of me doesn't doubt it because there's me at home going, oh, Annie from, Sioux Falls, I would have asked that, whatever. It's like all over America, these questions. So, things that you've been wondering as well. And but the good news is for anyone who committed to this experience is that there will be a season 2 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
So are you're recommending everybody watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City plus the reunion?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I subscribe to Hey You.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone else does.
No, I remember that you do though.
Yeah,
good.
I know.
Yeah.
It's $5 or something a month. So it's, but it's like, should you have, like you just watched all of Castle?
Yes.
One of my coworkers last year watched all of the Kardashians.
Wow, that's a long time.
All of it. And it was hilarious because he knew I wasn't like a full-on person, but I dipped in and out enough that like we could have a conversation if necessary.
Yeah.
And he would still be coming in going, can you believe, like, and I'd be, okay, I think this was 6 seasons ago, but sure, let's talk about it. So if this was something else you had missed during your pandemic, if you've gone through all the quality TV out there, all of the cinematic experiences you wanted, every Housewife franchise episode is there for you at Hey You. I don't get paid by Hey You. But I love you, Hey You. This is not an ad.
Perfect. That's great. Well, some two great recommendations. I'm watching like slightly sort of unusual TV. I'm trying to like engage with my grandma a lot more and make sure that she's
You've gone through the Heart to Heart you already went through, right?
Well, we went through you know what happened though? The CTV app sort of stopped working for Heart to Heart specifically. And so we got like 3 episodes from the end of season 5, and we have all of season 6.
Because they thought no one would notice.
Truly. And
only the Robert Wagner completist.
For like 5 months, we've been trying to get through the last season and a half of Heart to Heart.
Was there like something left dangling? Were there some things you needed tied up?
There's not like a resolution I'm looking for necessarily, but like I did want to finish it because I am a completist. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we did finish Golden Girls, all 7 seasons, and that was a good time. But we've started some new programming, and I'm trying to introduce Grandma to some new shows. And so I watched the first season of The Sinner. I did not love it, but the second season I had heard good things about it, and it's like a totally different show. Like, it's not focused on Jessica Biel. She's not even part of it. Like it's a different sort of thing. Bill Pullman is kind of at the center, and we have found it very compelling, and we are already like we've watched like 6 episodes in the last 3 days. So I think I can recommend The Sinner season 2. And
so you got to get through season 1.
You don't have to. You can skip season 1 if you want.
Oh.
Because it's not It's not like sort of consecutive storytelling. It's like separate things. So, I cannot really recommend season 1, even though Jessica Biel's like good in it, but I just don't care enough about her to put anyone through that. But season 2, I think is good.
All right. Wow, this is a lot for everybody. A lot of things.
A lot of things.
A lot of variety.
Yeah, it sure is.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We really appreciate you making us part of your pandemic and quarantine lives. Hope everyone is doing well. You can hang out with us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. You could email us at popthiscollective@gmail.com. And if you'd like to rate and review us 5 stars, we would appreciate that.
We sure would. And thanks always to Andrea Gin, our co-host and producer. It's a delight. I don't know what we would do if we didn't have this. I don't even want to think about it. So a little anchor in our week. So thank you all for being here with us. Bye.
And thank you, Lisa, for wearing your new tie-dye
I'll wear my
sweatshirt.
gold bracelet next week.
Made me happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that gold bracelet too.
Oh, yeah, you do. I got to get some work out of that thing.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.